Hey guys, this is Elliot here from MMT. I got Ninja here. Today we're going to be talking about treating the lower leg, in particular a muscle that controls your big toe. It's called the flexor hallucis longus. Now why I want to do that is because earlier today I had a lady who's had some pain in foot, sort of the plantar fascia area under the foot where a lot of people tend to complain about. And she's done all the rolling and toe spreading as well, and she's finding that it's still kind of giving her some trouble. So rather than just working that area, we looked further up the chain and see what else is causing that problem there. So we'll have a look at the anatomy here on our diagram there. So if we look at the lower legs, the light's a bit better. We've got your outer calf that everyone knows, your gastroc. Underneath that you've got soleus, another calf muscle, and then deeper to that you've got your toe flexors, your long toe flexors. So the one I've got highlighted here is our flexor hallucis longus. If I've just faded out like that, you can see how it goes down the leg into the foot there and then controls your big toe. Now the interesting thing about this is that the big toe is on the inside of the foot there, but that muscle starts on the outside of the leg. So it kind of crisscrosses across that way. Alrighty, so get Ninja to lay onto his back there. I want to show the anatomy. Which leg shall we use? Yeah.
Maybe this one, the light.
This one here? Yeah, this is a good one here. So we'll just demonstrate on that one first. So the lady, she was complaining about pain and tightness through here, and the tissue through here was pretty bound up as I was pushing into it. The muscles in the short flexors of the toe there were also contracted. So I was working through there and that was giving her some relief there. But then as I was looking further up the chain, I was looking more into the back of the leg there. So if we use this one here so we see it better. Everyone knows that the calf is like that, so we saw in the diagram it's deeper to that muscle there. So you can sort of get a feel for it just gently. I use my hands like this and just sort of pull in. Just take it easy so that way you don't tire out your fingers and your forearms there. And we'll just get you to just keep it neutral there, Ninj, thank you. And what I can do here is I can use this and just brush in deep and feel where those deep toe flexors are underneath the gastroc. I can feel already on Ninja's one that his hallucis longus is quite tight through there.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you can feel that right through there, whereas the inside, which is the medial side over here, not so much there. And that's where the medial side on the inside there is more to do with the other four toes, whereas this one here is that big toe flexor. And I'm just strumming along, just to get a feel for the landscape, see what we're dealing with.
Whoa.
And yeah, you can feel
good.
In through here, there's that that deeper achy sensation that some people will get into. So once I find a nice spot there, I settle onto it and I'm sort of angling my hand like this, almost prying myself into it. Again, just taking care of my mechanics here and making sure I don't fatigue my fingers too much.
Spot on, man.
You can feel a spot through there.
Yep.
And so you can sort of jiggle into it as well. So even though it's in the mid part of the lower leg here, that muscle attaches all along the back of the tibia there. So I am still working on bony attachment points. But yeah, it's quite a easily missed spot. Very easily missed there. So we flex it a lot. We contract the deep toe flexors when we're standing, walking, running. It doesn't really get a chance to really lengthen out that much, especially this region with the other long toe flexors. So if you imagine being outside, barefoot, in the undulating surfaces of the world there, our foot goes into all sorts of different positions, and so those muscles probably do get a chance to lengthen out and stretch. Maybe if you're standing on the edge of a step and lowering your heel down, that's a good time for it to stretch. But if you're walking on flat ground, it just goes from middle position to short position repetitively. So for a lot of us, it starts to crank up and get quite tight.
Shoes would be a problem, can't it? High heels and pitched heels and things like that.
Now it's all in fashion now. Runners have elevated heels.
Yep.
So that's not really helping what we're seeing here. And so it's very easy to get that to be a problem. Seeing quite a few runners now that people are preparing for Melbourne Marathon as they're increasing their training load. What I tend to find with some people, especially if this is their first marathon, is that they're running quite slow, over 5.5 minutes a K. That's okay because you're trying to build up, but when you're running slower, you're not really using the big engines of your legs. You tend to use these muscles quite a lot. So they get a lot of load into them, a lot of shock, and so those tendons and muscles there tighten up, get quite stiff. That's how you get things like shin splints, foot pains as well. And so the fix around that is actually to run a bit faster. So you might have to throw in some faster runs, you might have to shorten the duration, but work on your bigger engines.
Yeah.
And funny story, I had a client who runs 10Ks quite comfortably, and he had no issues, and then he ran with a friend of his and had to slow down for her, and that's where everything flared up.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, when you're running slower, like the tendency is not to run on your toes as much, the forefoot, whereas even when you're jogging, you still land on the forefoot because that allows you to absorb the force a lot better. Landing is generally where people kind of come unstuck or whatever it is. Like, because you're laying on your heel and that's not shock absorption. It's just bang and everything gets compressed and nothing kind of gets. It's just like a hammer up against a spring. So you're on the forefoot, it's like a spring, and then you can absorb the forces the way your body's intended. And if you're always relying on your equipment, your shoes, then you can be getting a false kind of understanding of what's going on because you're not getting that instant pain that you would be getting. So you're loading your hamstring so much more, your calves so much more, and you're not using the natural springs. So another thing is your toes can get really compressed as well if your shoes are kind of tighter or your laces are tighter through there. So you're not allowing that spreading of the foot each time you land. So it spreads out, lands, and it can absorb more forces. And if it's kind of bunched together, it can't absorb forces anywhere near as efficiently.
How are we going there?
That's good, man. I think you've released off a fair bit of stuff.
Quite a bit. So I want to show a slightly different way you can attack it, just because your hands can get quite tight in that position. Here's where we can rotate our body around and actually start to use the thumb there. So use double thumb, spread into like this, and again, just pushing up into that deep calf there, and I'm feeling for that muscle underneath the gastroc.
Whoa.
Whoop, bit of a flick there, so I'm just going to brush it to the side and still kind of target myself sort of inwards there. Again, if you want to do like a bit more of a dynamic release, what you can do is get the person's big toe to extend upwards, and that's going to put it on a bit more of a stretch. Yeah, so getting that muscle to really lengthen out there, using my thumb, being patient, just jiggling into it. You have to really take your time with areas like these, just because this is a part of the body where comes under a lot of pressure with all the blood that goes into this area. So when the client gets up, they might be walking a little ginger, and that's quite normal, but we don't want to give them such a terrible experience, so we want to ease into it.
Ginger, where did that saying come from, you reckon, mate? You're getting a bit ginger.
Feeling a bit ginger.
Or are you getting a bit of curry, like ginger?
Feeling a bit ginger.
Ginger, that means you're a bit tender, isn't it? Why is ginger tender?
Yeah, what's so tender about ginger?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a spice, I think.
Yeah.
We'll be feeling spicy, if anything. All right, and the last thing I want to show you is just how you can do a self-release. Yeah. So I'll get Ninja to sit up on the side there, and we're going to walk him through it. So it can be quite difficult to try and locate it with your own hands, especially if you're not sure what's going on. So what I tend to encourage people to do is actually use the firm part of their other kneecap.
Oh.
Okay, so you can either do it that way, or the other way I would do it actually is seated. So you seat it and just hook yourself into it this way. All right. And so you're using the kneecap of your other leg to explore those deep muscles. So remember, it's not the calf, not the gastroc, but deeper than that. We're trying to really get in there and just find where those tight bits are and wiggle around. And you can just scrub up and down just to feel what needs releasing. Try to keep the foot relaxed if you can as well, so that way you're not kind of locking on that gastroc and blocking your ability to release this. And then this is a good one to work on for all the deeper toe flexors as well. I find I have to do this if I'm standing for long periods or having to wear work boots where my feet are starting to stiffen up. Once I take my boots off, this is a good way to scrub into those deep muscles there to help lengthen up everything through there. And that helps get my toes freer and easier to wiggle too.
That's good, man. We do have a Fix It Yourself program as well.
Check it out.
So 28 videos, go into depth into anatomy and how to kind of get into all these different areas of your body. So it's sort of, it's bloody interesting. But yeah, you can do it yourself. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars with practitioners with stuff that you can actually access yourself. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, if you're experiencing foot pain or leg pain there, sometimes a bit of like calf pain as well, and you need to get it seen to, hit us up, have a look, check out our website as well, check out our YouTube channel, see those videos as well, try some of this yourself. Otherwise come down here and get it fixed.
Yeah. Get it done!
Done.